Hey, this is Lex, and welcome to another episode of Lipstick and Liberation, a podcast where I, a 41-year-old feminist, talk about the events of the world and share them through my perspective and try to give you guys something to go away from with each week. This has not been very weekly lately, and I do apologize. I've really been just doing this when I can, but I'm so glad for everybody who has come back. This week, I've always tried to steer clear of talking about men exclusively on my podcast, but this week I really felt touched to talk about my father. With Father's Day being tomorrow, this has been a little bit of a struggle for me this year. I have other things that have triggered my grief this year, but it was really profound to me today. There was a moment where after I dropped my son off to his father, I found myself I just burst into tears at the red light, just remembering that I'm alone on Father's Day. I don't have anybody to call. I don't have a father to call. And I think, realizing that it seems crazy because my dad's been gone since 2016. So it'll be 10 years this year. But I didn't feel like any kind of build up sadness about it. Like I practice ancestor worship, so I talk to my dad pretty regularly through my ancestral altar, and I don't really feel like he's gone like all the time. Like I know he's gone physically, but I feel like I still have some kind of relationship with him through that. So it still kind of shocks me sometimes when I fall into grief about him not physically being here anymore, because it's not like he doesn't exist to me anymore, but at the same time, he's just not here anymore. And I think the times that I mostly feel it is when I am dealing with a lot of stuff. Like I had a relative pass away on this past week, and it really touched me and made me very, very sad, and just made me think about life a lot. And so I think that, plus the realization that, like, yeah, your dad's still not physically here. Like, I don't think I felt safe since my dad left the physical realm. I just really don't. And it is hard to like cultivate that safety. Like I'm a parent now, so I have to make sure that my kid is safe. But at the same time, I don't know if I'll ever feel safe again. I think that's the conclusion that I kind of came to after I stopped crying today, is that maybe this is as safe as it gets for me without my dad being here. Like, I don't know. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to be upset again, when his death anniversary comes around, and when his birthday comes around, or when Father's Days come around in the future. It seems like every time that I mourn him, like I come to a new conclusion about the fact that the mourning is never going to end. And in a way that's comforting, but it's also just scary, because it's weird to just have like a thought of somebody come over you that you think about all the time, and then it incapacitates you. Like I was like crying, like choked up at the stoplight. I had to like drive home, and then I came in and I lit my candles and stuff, and I stayed with my ancestral altar for a while, and I really talked to my dad, and I told him about how much I missed him and how hard life feels without him, and like how it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't ever feel the same. And I think when you lose your parents, those are anchor people in your life, Those are people who were there from the moment you were born. Nobody else was there at the beginning of your life like that. And losing them, it's just something you can't get back. It's a bond you're never going to be able to recreate with anybody else. I know that no matter who I fall in love with, if I ever fall in love again, or if I ever allow myself to be in like a relationship again romantically, I know nobody's ever going to take care of me like my father took care of me. And I know I'm blessed and I'm lucky that I had a good relationship with my father, and I was so close to him. He really taught me a lot. And a lot of the things that he did teach me did keep me safe throughout life, even throughout dating. I mean, he did not teach me enough about domestic violence. I will say that. I only knew about the physical forms. Had I known about the emotional or psychological forms, maybe I would have been better prepared for that situation. But he prepared me for a lot. And I still live by a lot of the things that he taught me about dating and about men, and, how to maneuver the world and how to stay safe and how to know somebody values me. But it's just not the same without him. And knowing that, like I said, just existing in this world, existing in this political climate, seeing how men treat women, the experiences I've had with men, it is really, really humbling realizing that nobody else is going to care about you like that person did, and that they're gone. They're gone. They don't exist anymore in the physical realm. You're not going to have that anymore, like that protection. And I really wish and hope for every person. And I know it's terrible because not a lot of people had really, good dads or dads that were good to them, the same way they were to their other children. People's relationships with their parents are so complex. And I know I was blessed to have a good relationship with my father and to be close with my father. And I wish that for everybody else. And I still struggle with some guilt that the person I chose as a father for my child was someone who was so profoundly toxic and horrible to me. And, that kind of relationship, I would have wanted for my child to have a father like I had. And I don't know how I dropped the ball on that so badly. I know I was tricked and I was manipulated, but I still feel a lot of guilt about that too. So this day just brings up so many complicated feelings for me. The main feeling though is always missing my father. I think that I just feel like everything would be better in my life if he was still here. There was a time where I could call him for anything. My car was messed up. Anything was going wrong in my house. He would come. He would drop whatever he was doing and he would come. And the deeper you get into adulthood, especially as we're now living in this adulthood where a lot of us, are trying to just make ends meet and just keep things together. We don't have the spare income, the disposable income, some of us that our parents did, the disposable time, that some of them had because it was a one income household or there was better union benefits and stuff for vacation or sick time. Like we are living in far more isolated times anyway, where it's even harder to like cultivate those same kind of friendships and bonds to replace the people that we've lost. Like when I think about how alone I am sometimes all the time, and it doesn't bother me. That's the weird thing is like for somebody who grew up with so many siblings, for somebody who like grew up in a close knit family, I am alone a lot. I work from home. I have my kid when I have my kid. When I don't have my kid, I make myself go visit friends sometimes, even though it can get expensive with gas and stuff. But I'm still alone a lot more than I think I would have expected to be. Just how I am. Thank God for social media because I can keep connected with people. But it's really weird. It's like I think that too makes the whole experience of losing a parent kind of isolating, is because there's not as many relationships to build where you can just go and ask somebody to do something like that for you or go and spend time with somebody when those people are gone from your life. Like, I think we live such isolated lives, some of us, that even trying to fill in those spaces, even though they're never filled with other relationships, it's just really, really difficult these days. So it's a lot. I'm probably rambling right now. I did not take my Vyvanse today, so that probably is the case. But I couldn't not let this day pass and not talk about how horrible the grief was today at me not having a father anymore. And understanding that the time in my life where I feel as safe as I did is just over. That is just over now. And it doesn't mean I can't be happy. I think that's been the kind of weird part about like navigating my grief this past week, is that overall, I am happy. Overall, I do feel like I have a good life. It's not a perfect life. It's not the exact life that I would want, but I'm happy. I love myself. I love my kid. Like I have meaningful relationships that I do care about. I love how I treat other people. I love that I'm an ethical person. And I know a lot of these characteristics are things that my father really instilled in me too. But I love myself and I love my life. And it's like hard to navigate that roller coaster. I love myself, I love my life, but this little piece of my life right here is really sad. But the rest of it's okay. But I need to be like in this piece right now. I need to feel this thing that I'm feeling right now. Like at times being a single mom, I don't really feel like it's okay for me to like really fall all the way into the grief like I used to, because the kind of person I am, I feel stuff so deeply, like anything I feel, grief, passion, lust, anything. It's very deep for me. It's very intense. And I think too, like sometimes I'm like really scared to be sad because I've been really, really sad before. Like coming out of that abusive marriage is probably one of the saddest times in my life after my dad died. So it's like, I feel like I cannot get to those levels, those depths of sadness again, because they were debilitating because of how deeply I feel things. So I think part of me gets anxious too when there's grief to deal with, because I'm like, I don't want to slide down that slide too far. I don't want to go too deep. But I just, I think anybody that's lost a parent can relate to what I'm saying about just how the world just is never the same after that. And you still go on living your life. You remember them and you go on living your life, and it's okay. Most of the time, it's okay until it's not. And today, for a little while, it just wasn't. And maybe because other people passed on in my life and I learned to live with it without it tearing me up as frequently as my father, maybe I thought like eventually there'd be a Father's Day where I wouldn't cry. There'd be a birthday where I wouldn't feel sad of his, or his death anniversary wouldn't impact me so much. Maybe I'm waiting for that, and maybe I need to accept that those are things that are never really going to come. That he just meant that much to me. He was that profound a person to me and so foundational to my life and who I've become and how I live, that there's never going to come a day where these things are not going to hit me the way this has. And I can deal with it. I can keep going. I can make sure that I don't let it drag me all the way down into the depths of despair, like the first time when he passed away and I had to grieve him. It doesn't have to be like that again, but it's never going to be me not sad. Never going to be me not thinking about the times that we could have had together, the things he might have said to my son, the ways he might have helped me escape that abusive relationship, the way that whole situation might have been different if he had still been here. You know, imagining this alternate timeline where he got to see the woman I've become. Maybe he wouldn't have even approved of this woman as much, but I don't know. He never gave me a hard time about any of the things that I wanted or wanted to be. He really didn't. He was my number one fan. If I had a number one fan, it was him. And going through life without your number one fan, it's not easy. It's not. You'll get other fans. I have other people, who'll cheer me on, I know. And I'll cheer them on, but it'll never be the same. It'll never be the same as my dad. And I suppose I should just be grateful for the time I had, but it's never really enough time. It's never enough time. I don't know. I just feel like maybe we shouldn't lose parents. Maybe we should just get to keep them forever in the physical, because I do think he still intervenes for me. I do think that he has done some things for me as a parent would on the other side. So, but to anybody else dealing with the loss of a parent this Father's Day, just know you're not alone. Just know, I know that the whole is terrible. It is. And it doesn't ever fill. I know that. But what a blessing. What a blessing for the time that we did have them. If we had good relationships with them, what a blessing. I love you, Dad, so much. Thank you for believing that I could be anything. Thank you for sending me to Europe when I was 15 and I didn't even know that I could go. I wanted to go, and I came and I asked you, and you sent me, and I went, and that trip changed my life. Thank you for fighting for me to be able to go away to college when my mom wanted me to stay home. That being able to go to college when my mom wanted me to stay home because she thought I was too immature because I was 17. College changed my life. Thank you for paying for me to go to college so I didn't have that many student loans to pay off. Thank you for when I got my first boyfriend. When I came home and I told you that I didn't like that guy that much and he wasn't my first boyfriend, and you saw that necklace he bought me and you said, I'll tell you something, Alexis, a guy that spends that much money on you, that's your boyfriend. Thank you for helping me get through that breakup. It was rough. I loved him, and like I said, I feel things deeply, so that was a hard thing to get through. Thank you for everything, Dad. Just thank you. Thank you for naming me after a soap opera villain, because you wanted a daughter who didn't lay down, who fought back. Because I didn't understand it at the time. I was angry when I found out because I didn't like my name growing up, and you told me that's who you named me after. When I finally got the chance to watch Dynasty and see Alexis in action, I said, she's terrible. And now that I'm older, I get it. I get it. I do. Just thank you, Dad. Thank you for telling me never to let a man drive my car. Thank you for telling me to make sure that if a man loves me, he takes care of me. Thank you for letting me know that I get to make the decisions in my life and I could do anything after you came up in a time where there wasn't even the same belief that you could do anything. Yet you had a daughter and you thought she could do anything. Thank you for that. Thank you for your faith in me. Thank you for the foundational things that you gave me that, even though you weren't a feminist, led to me becoming a feminist. Thank you for meeting and marrying my mom, for whatever however you guys' relationship was, and whatever it may have wound up being. Thank you, because it created me. Thank you for this life. Thank you for everything and the continued protection and the love that I know that you're continuing to share. And thank you for the comfort. I know that you wouldn't want me to be so sad that you're gone. You want me to miss you. You definitely want me to miss you, which I do. But I know you wouldn't want that to stop me from having the life that I felt I deserved. Because one thing about you, Dad, is you lived life to the fullest. You, to a fault sometimes, but you did what you wanted to do. You went and experienced the things you wanted to experience. And that has been the defining thing of my post-divorce life, is me not being afraid to chase after the things that I want and go and experience the things that I desire. So thank you for this life, Dad. I love you so much. And I hope that eventually, I don't know if it'll ever stop hurting, but I do hope that eventually I can just make it through these days and just be sad, but not be overwhelmed with grief. Because you led an incredible life. And I was so lucky to have you for as long as I did.